Parkop says he will evict settlers. Peace talks to continue after tribal clash. And opposition calls on government to ease COVID lockdown.
This is National MTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Friday's news. Firstly, we do apologize for the delay due to some technical difficulties. The Special Parliamentary Committee on Gender-Based Violence will hold the first ever public inquiry with officials and field workers on issues regarding GBV. The inquiry will go on for 2 days. Chairman of the committee, Charles Abel, said this during a press conference this morning.
The Special Parliamentary Committee on GBV inquiry will focus on 4 issues related to addressing GBV in the country. One related issue would be examining the amount and use of funding provided by the government to address GBV.
The reality is, as we're finding out, significant amounts of funding were already appropriated to the policy in 2018. And those funds don't seem to have hit the ground in a constructive way. So there's some historical legacy issues. We are more focusing on what is the support for that secretariat and policy going forward.
Present at the conference also was the president of PNG Tribal Foundation, Gary Bustin, and NCD Governor and a member of the Special Parliamentary Committee, Parkop. Committee Chair Charles Abel says the public hearing will help identify concrete improvements to the national response to GBV. Mr. Abel says there is enough talk about issues regarding GBV. Now is the time for action.
We want to concentrate the majority of the inquiry around the prosecution side of it. When you commit such a crime, what are the consequences?
And I am in this committee because I want to see real tangible things happening. I am not going to be there to be part of a talk fest. Talk, not something come up.
So now mi hamamas true or same government now and look sawe lo this la issue. Now you must walk. You mean not can talk that's all. You must find a way to work him, especially prosecutions.
The Special Parliamentary Committee on Gender-Based Violence hearings will be conducted over 2 days from the 24th and 25th of May 2021. The committee will be calling on frontline workers from around the country through Zoom and face-to-face meetings. This will allow them to hear from people who have been working to help women and children who are suffering from GBV. The public hearing will be broadcast on the committee's Facebook pages. Those who wish to share their experiences or ideas with the committee can make a written submission to the committee on their website. Gertrude Gabi, National MTV News.
Police and a good order committee in Eastern Highlands are working tirelessly to bring peace and order back into the township of Kainantu after a clash erupted in February. Deputy Commander of the Northern Command, Chief Superintendent John Kale, says police met with the Tapo tribe in Goroka yesterday. Kale says Eastern Highlands provincial government, including local MP Johnson Tuke, supported police to bring peace and normalcy back into the community.
On Thursday, members of the Northern and Southern mobile units escorted the Tapo clan leaders to Goroka to meet with the governor, the local MP and police. The fighting had cooled down, but the situation still remains tense with mobile units monitoring the area.
Mobile squads were calling from Ley and Port Moresby to assist the local police there to contain the situation. And right now, as I'm speaking, the situation is back to normal, but still tense. Police are working, police and the peace mediating committees in Kainantu are working tirelessly to bring peace.
Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu says both factions have lost lives and properties due to this clash. He says the fighting got out of hand as it involves hand grenade, including killing of women. It is crucial that a ceasefire agreement must happen to bring back normalcy into Kainantu.
Or when we fight to go out of hand. That's why province had to step in. So PEC sit down, we play sanctioning. Law and Peace and Good Order Committee, it's head of PEC. We play sanctioning law, overseeing this law, evict.
Yesterday's meeting was to gauge views from the community leaders on a way forward to negotiate peace and find an amicable solution for both factions. Another similar gathering will be held on Monday at Yonki with the Agarabi clan to hear their concerns as well.
We must understand him all man, why or fight. Mipla baga time to logo toto guante mola Agarabi lo side. Na mipla basalo lo side lo. Na only talk say mipla like him also. You mean not gonna make him also. Mipla like him also. You mix him ting lo man.
Tapo community leaders wanted the fighting to stop, saying the clash was among the tribesmen of Agarabi, but it spilled over and they had become victims of the clash.
Tapo ba ino na mo fight. Tapo ba depending border taso. Border blo mipla. Mipla got in two block boundaries start. One block boundary emlo tumbuna boundary blo mipla. We tumbuna sa to lo nugru taso la ay makan.
They say land disputes between the two sides years ago may be the cause of the fighting.
Mipla Tapo believe that this is a fight and repeated fight. The same issue no border. Even if that in one fight been come up in 1966.
20 people lost their lives while more than 20 people were injured and properties where thousands of kina were destroyed during the clash.
So the total number of people we have on record is about 20, but there are more. Some are not reported to police or authorities.
Martha Luis, National EMTV News.
A Tapo clan leader in Kainantu is calling on the provincial government to carry out an investigation into the alleged hand grenade that was used during the clash. Apollo Aruko says the clash got out of control when bows and arrows used in traditional warfare were substituted with a very dangerous weapon.
During the peace meeting held in Goroka yesterday, Tapo clan leader demanded an investigation into the type of weapons used in the fight. Apollo Aruko told the Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu that the alleged hand grenade was used on state land.
Office Lawyer Governor, lo investigate him when ma bomb can na how bomb impera. Mipla understanding mo se ma tribal fight. You can fight one them buno spear or even gun.
Deputy Commander of the Northern Command Chief Superintendent John Kale confirms there were dangerous weapons used, including an SLR assault rifle.
It is a very, very serious concern.
Aruko also requested the provincial government to set up a rehabilitation center for both sides for families who lost their homes to settle and rebuild their lives.
Suppose you can set him up one rehabilitation program. Rehabilitate him. All houses where all family, brothers who saw whenever or lost him, in millions or lost him.
Aruko says the Provincial Peace and Good Order Committee needs to improve its sense of urgency when dealing with emergency situations, adding the fighting would have been sorted out when it was in its infantry stage. The Eastern Highlands Provincial Government will look into the request given by Tapo leaders and will assist both sides rebuild their lives. For now, it is important that both parties must agree to stop fighting and allow peace to return.
But also, you may sleep now, you may scatter. If you talk about ceasefire, if you talk about you may stop also, if you agree, you may go and settle this law. And if you look, moving in or machine blow, cutting or divine. So the house cannot blow you one fire, let me look, cutting. One man, supply more kappan, you may look, get up in house blow. House kunai or one house fire, all but second record blow 1 month. You put him on a machine going to outside one time. You may look, you play by settle.
Meanwhile, Apollo Aruko expressed frustrations over the recent media publications on one of the two dailies on the class, deeming it as incorrect.
Media reports and work for fabricating planting news. Work will come up in some story where Emino true. So all media, you will report. Mila reports that you kissing side story bro tubla side one time. Now you report, Emba all right. But plenty report where Mila kissing the newspaper, Emino accurate, Emino correct. So me blame Amamas law or media.
Martha Lewis, National MTV News.
Nurses at the Port Moresby General Hospital will go on a sit-in protest on Monday next week after the Health Secretary failed to address them. Yesterday, the nurses gave the department 24 hours to respond over unpaid COVID-19 risk allowances, but the deadline lapsed at the close of business today.
But Secretary didn't turn up. The association actually called the Secretary's office, the executive manager, to the Secretary office, responded and said that Secretary has no time to come and address the nurses. So the only way to talk to the Secretary is now for nurses to do a sitting protest on Monday as planned, so he can come and address the entire 800 nurses of Port Moresby General Hospital. So that's the next step that will be taken, since he has no time to come and talk to our nurses as petitioned yesterday.
You're watching National MTV News. More stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Community health worker at the Busamang aid post in Morobe's Huon Gulf, Anbolin Anjen, has raised concerns about the spike of COVID-19 cases in Ley. She said locals from Busamang often travel to and from Ley, and the aid post currently cannot deal with COVID-19 cases if they are detected. At the moment, COVID-19 awareness continues to be carried out.
Community health worker Anbolin Anjen says the Busamang aid post does not have the capacity to handle COVID-19 cases if they are identified in Busamang. She made these comments following the increase of COVID-19 cases in Ley. Anjen said with locals traveling to and from Ley every day, this is a concern.
We cannot treat them here because people are not able to isolate more because it goes here. So, because people must open more face.
As of last week, the total number of COVID-19 cases in Morobe was 675, with the highest number of cases being reported in Ley. While CHW Anjen has concerns about COVID-19, recurring health challenges continue to affect operations. The medicine they currently have in stock is enough to last 1 week, and supplies coming in from the Salamaua Health Center are often delayed. Although Busamang in the Huon Gulf district is part of the larger New Guinea landmass, it is mainly accessible by sea. Logistics is one of the challenges faced by the aid post.
That's on transport. We take risk of that and can transport him on. Cases supposed to be detective sample here. If we don't detect them, I'm alright, but if we detect them, then it will be a problem to us because we don't have the transport.
At the moment, the health team and school continue to conduct awarenesses to the locals to ensure COVID-19 measures are observed. Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Ley.
PNG High Commissioner to India, His Excellency Paulius Corney, says most Papua New Guineans working or studying in India have been evacuated back to PNG due to the COVID-19 pandemic crisis worsening in India over recent weeks. Speaking to MTV News via a Zoom interview yesterday, High Commissioner Corney said despite the surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths in India lately, Papua New Guineans in India, including the diplomatic mission staff, are safe. With a COVID-19 variant hitting India badly over recent weeks, where millions of people are affected, the PNG High Commission in India has been trying to evacuate Papua New Guineans working and studying in India back to PNG. High Commissioner Corney says about 100 Papua New Guineans were known to be either studying or working in India since COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic. Indian-based companies Stradbroke Investments and Kapajet have provided assistance for Papua New Guineans in the country's COVID-19 response since 2020. The two companies have helped the PNG government with PPE supplies as well as helping to evacuate Papua New Guineans out of India.
Since last year, we have sent 35 students back to Papua New Guinea on a flight that came through PNG, sponsored by Stradbroke Investments, which has investments in Papua New Guinea, and Kapajet, which operates the charter service between Delhi, Jakarta, Port Moresby, and Nadi in Fiji. So we've had this great opportunity with this company to send Papua New Guineans who were stranded here.
India has also supplied 132,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine to Papua New Guinea as part of relations between the two countries. The PNG High Commissioner told MTV News that Papua New Guineans who still live in India now, including the High Commission staff, are safe but are operating under strict COVID-19 lockdown measures in place there. However, Mr. Corney says sustaining the operations financially at the PNG High Commission in India is a challenge at this time.
Insofar as assistance in monetary terms, that is a real challenge for us. And I don't want to delve into that because it is a real challenge, because our country is also going through this economic squeeze, and so we are also feeling the pinch of it here. And when you don't pay diplomats, and we are going to this situation, only God has been good to us. None of us have got sick or hit by COVID, so that is the situation. So. For instance, if I am not paid for 3 months, my diplomats are not receiving their allowances for 3 months or 4 months, then we have an issue.
Opposition leader Belden Nama held a press conference today to call on the government to uplift lockdowns throughout the country. He has also, in light of the recent COVID outbreak in India, called on the government to put a total ban on incoming flights from India.
COVID-19 restrictions, as I've said, need to be lifted immediately.
Opposition leader Belden Nama has called on the government to immediately lift all forms of lockdowns around the country. He further called for a ban on incoming flights from India due to the recent outbreak of a new COVID variant which has affected over 300,000 people in the past day. India's infection rate only second to the United States.
And ban all flights in and out of India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, and that includes ships, cargo, and passengers.
Nama added that the government should seriously promote the new Plapasin protocols instead of resorting to the use of national security forces.
I call for the government to drive and promote Nubla Passing protocols. It has been talking about it, but it has not been actively promoting it and driving it. And to do that, you do not need security personnel, you do not need police, you do not need defense force personnel, you do not need the members of the CIS to be driving this. You need to mobilize public health workers. You need to mobilize civil servants. You need to mobilize volunteers to drive this Nubla Passing protocol.
He has called on the government to stop isolation wards in the country, which he claims are causing more harm to the people.
Isolating patients drives fear, depression into our people. and could cause further complications which leads to death.
The opposition leader has called on the people of Papua New Guinea to be vigilant. Kilawani, National EMTV News.
Pandemic controller David Manning has banned all passengers travelling to PNG from India effective today. In a directive issued today, Manning said no person is permitted to board an aircraft or ship bound for Papua New Guinea from any foreign point of departure or airport if that person has been in the Republic of India in the past 21 days prior to the date a vessel or aircraft departs on its journey to PNG. Any person or organization who fails to adhere to this directive is deemed to have committed an offence under the National Pandemic Act 2020. The directive will remain effective until varied or revoked by the controller. NCD Governor Powes Parkop and member for Mosby South, Justin Tachenko, have issued a stern warning to settlers in the nation's capital who continue to incite violence and criminal activities. Settlers will be evicted if worse comes to worse. The warning follows another death in the city this morning.
Authorities responsible for the peace and good order in the nation's capital have had enough.
Me fight strong, defending you people in the settlement. Over the line, you accusing me of tolerating settlement. So you plan on helping me, look how you will get up. Help our program to upgrade settlement to survive, and you don't deserve to be living in the community.
We can't be having people like this in our community. Enough is enough. How long is this going to go on for?
While describing the recent killing of a young man this morning at Koki in the Mosby South electorate as senseless and barbaric, they said the responsibility of keeping a peaceful community goes back to the community itself. But if the criminal activities continue unabated and if a community continues to harbour criminals, settlers will be evicted. That's the stance the NCD governor is taking.
Last time at Vadavada, the two communities there were engaging in similar activities, revenge killing. I've given them a warning that if they do it again, I will not hesitate to remove them. That's all. So this warning, me giving Yupla line year long, mostly South too. Yupla community, me no busy where you're from, but Yupla continue causing trouble, attacking each other. Me back and rouse to Yupla. Simple as that. You can't learn to live with each other, and you don't deserve to live among everybody else.
These individuals that have committed these crimes, barbaric, primitive crimes, must not be in our society. Must be put away for good. Be used as an example. Be used as an example. If you commit a crime in Mosby South or in our city, they will be dealt with harshly and forever.
The killing this morning at Koki Market is believed to be a payback killing following an incident 4 days ago.
Prior to this incident, there was a murder on Sunday during the weekend. So 3 days after we have issued, after we have addressed that murder with the minister himself, the Metsup, and the district administrator, we have already addressed that matter at the Askrai after 4 days. Unfortunately, another matter which took place at the Koki, just opposite the Koki Big Rooster.
Meanwhile, following the number of recent killings in the city, NCDC will assist the police with a special task force to curb these senseless killings and the crime.
An operation that will be launched shortly with the police. We'll be working together to weed out the criminal activities in our settlements and in our communities once and for all.
Charmaine Poreambeb, National EMTV News.
After months of planning, the Cocoa Price Support Program is now rolled out in Morobe Province. The launching was held at Munum in the Makam district on Monday.
The economical road from Leh to Nadzap is seeing rapid development in the most recent years following the road sealing project. New businesses have emerged as landowners sell their piece of land along the highway to settlers and businesses, with the hopes to also participate in the name of development in anticipation for the road ceiling to complete and the number of business opportunities that will spring up. But the PNG Cocoa Board is asking villagers to not sell their land, but instead farm the land.
You may got plenty landmass, you may got all the accessibility. Now, all got something in the world, I'm starting to me. So, we may give some little time now, opportunity now. You must take advantage. Now, walk, did man walk cacao now. Start him sit down, maybe in a place. Now, you may stop.
Mr. Boto Gaupu is the CEO of PNG Cocoa Board. He was speaking at the launch of the Cocoa Price Support Program for Morobe Province on Monday.
Now, production from Morobe, inside law, last 10, 15 years ago, have been average was mark was 800 tons to 1,000 tons. But by talking about now it has increased.
The Cocoa Price Support Program is part of the government's Price Support and Agriculture Intervention Program, which was launched last year. The program aims to improve the buying price of commodities in the country and give village farmers a direct benefit for their hard work. An initial amount of 50 million kina was released last year. The funds were shared among the commodity boards. 10 million kina was given to the PNG Cocoa Board to manage and run the price support program for cocoa.
Farmers only looking price and more cacao by clean, coconuts by clean, coffee by clean. So, I'm talking just true price, but usad by kisim this la price. So, when we talking government of some price, this la support you giving must go straight to pocket for farmers no place.
Morobe Province commenced the Cocoa Price Support and Agriculture Intervention Program just last month after months of consultation and planning by the Cocoa Board. Selected fermentaries and cooperative societies are involved in the program. The price support part of the program sees the government subsidizing the buying price of the cocoa, with selected fermentary owners and cooperative societies buying a kilo of wet beans for 3 kina.
Emba helping me, na emba help more community blow me too. Lo munum. So me and mama solo one walk where minister come game and me one best straight along him lo.
3 kina per kilo is very rewarding for many farmers who do most of the hard work at the farms to fermenting, drying and packing. The PNG Cocoa Board is also assisting farmers with intervention programs such as building nurseries for cocoa clone seedlings, building dryers and sorters like this one at Munum that was opened during the launch. Shamed Poriambeb, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2775 $0.3654 Australian dollars, $0.3777 New Zealand dollars, and 29.49 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee, cocoa, and copper closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. This is National EMTV News. More stories when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back. A special assembly meeting was held this afternoon in the Eastern Highlands capital to pay respect to 2 prominent leaders, Malcolm Smith-Keller and Aita Ivarato. Both late Ivarato and Smith served as governors for two terms each. Under strict COVID-19 protocols, the state funeral service was held at the Eastern Highlands Provincial Assembly. The casket of the leaders were escorted into town by police and CS officers before being laid at the assembly. A few family members attended, including serving Governor Peter Numu, a few open members, LLG presidents and past leaders. The body of late Ivarato will be laid to rest in Okapa, while late Keller Smith at his Pacific Gardens area. Come Saturday, 1st of May, drivers spending more than 50 kina at any Puma service station will get a bumper sticker which they'll need to incorporate in a selfie and upload on any social media platform with the hashtag MeLookHimMTV to win monthly prizes. This campaign is an initiative of Puma Energy in collaboration with MTV.
Puma Energy and MTV have teamed up to improve road safety on PNG roads with a fun bumper sticker campaign for motorists with cash and fuel prizes up for grabs. Customers who purchase fuel amounting from 50 kina or more will be given a bumper sticker for their vehicles. All they have to do is place the sticker on their vehicles and take a selfie with it. Then upload the selfie on their social media profiles with the hashtag MeLookHimMTV. The bumper sticker promotion coincides with Puma Energy's Be Road Safe campaign and MTV's MeLookHimMTV promotion. Director and General Manager of Puma Energy, Hulala Tokome, said this is their way of giving back to their customers as well as promoting road safety in the country.
And rather than having it done once a month in a year, where we're then having to extend this for the whole year with MTV. So we're proud to be committed again to being able to work with another household name within PNG, and especially growing up watching MTV all the time and watching the news. It's become a very strong household name within our communities, and that's all about Puma Energy, being able to energize the communities that we live in.
Today's launch allows for the campaign to be rolled out in the southern region on Saturday, 1st of May, and will end on June 30th.
A campaign that is very much followed by Puma, or headed by Puma, and we're very proud to be associated with them. The campaign actually starts this Saturday, and it starts in the southern region, and then it will move into the outer regions, which is the New Guinea Islands region, the Momase region, and then make its way to Highlands region.
The campaign will be rolled out in the other regions on the following dates.
PNG, we do encourage for everyone to participate, to fuel up, and to just have some fun with this campaign.
Winners will be announced in January. Helen Sea, National MTV News.
Telecom PNG announced its winners for the final draw of 100 kina free top-up for the month of April. The draws began early this month with weekly winners announced every Friday. Today, a total of 25 winners were randomly selected from the 4 regions, the Highlands, Momase, Islands and the southern region, including 5 winners for people using the 4G LTE SIM nationwide.
Each week for the last 3 weeks, this is the final and the 4th week of the draw. We'll be selecting 25 winners for top-up and win promotion. So what basically happens for this promotion is that you top up 5 kina and above, you enter into a draw and you win 100 kina worth of credits.
Trukai Sports is next. All the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Barramundis have been starved of international cricket since qualifying for the ICC T20 World Cup in Dubai late 2019. With domestic cricket also affected by the pandemic and the related national government protocols, all the Barramundis have had limited time in match situations apart from one. Barramundi Ched Sopa is based in Australia on the coast of New South Wales, isolated by distance from his teammates.
Barramundi number 112, Ched Sopa, made his debut for Papua New Guinea in the international front in 2015. Currently based in Sydney, Australia, while the pandemic has played havoc for the PNG men's national cricket team, Sopa has been hard at work in Sydney, taking 35 wickets in New South Wales grade cricket off-season.
It's been a fun season. I worked hard in the off-season during COVID on my game, on my bowling and a lot on my batting. And yeah, just to be given the opportunity to play a full season in Sydney. So it's been a great season for the club as well in general, but it's also been a good part to play my part in the success of the team as well, and actually get some wickets this year, which is surprising but good.
While having a great off-season, the lone bar says he misses his Barmandi teammates.
Being away from the boys, it's tough, yeah. So not being able to physically bowl to the boys, or just get around the bowlers and helping out, shedding some knowledge, shedding some experience.
Recalling the bar's historical moment of when they qualified for the T20 World Cup.
I was in the stands with the boys when we were watching the final game, and when we found out the great news, and it was just a lot of emotion. It's hard to narrow it down to one emotion because there was a lot.
When asked about his opinion on the last-minute change in the coaching chair, his response:
Last minute, leaving it down to the months coming into the World Cup's not ideal for any team, but the team love Joey. My opinion is that obviously we were shocked when we first heard it, but we just have to deal with it and move forward. And I know that, Cricket PNG, we owe, and as a squad and as a player myself, we owe a lot to Joey for where he's brought us from and to.
Adding he is excited for what the new coach is set to bring in.
I've done my research. So Carl played for Italy and also the Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash. So Carl brings a lot of experience to the team, and I'm looking forward to tapping into that knowledge on the game.
Despite the challenges of COVID, Cherry Boy, as affectionately known by his teammates, is grateful for being part of the current band of brothers in the Barramandis.
What a squad, what an amazing bunch of guys, and coaching staff and support network, and all the families that support us and follow us around the world. It's been an incredible journey. I'm so blessed to be a part of it. I never take any day for granted.
Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
Oil Search PNG Orchids captain Elsie Albert spoke of her experiences and challenges she faced as a female rugby league player. With the women's game relatively new in the country, its development and promotion has had its ups and downs. Serving as a role model for players in the country, Albert is a great example of what can be achieved given the right support and discipline.
The women's game in Papua New Guinea, we don't have that pathways like the men's do. Like men's play from, they have digital cup, and then further from there they move on to unders and overseas. To see for the ladies to have a clear pathway, from where they are to get to the orchids, and then to further go into like NRLW and to play in the NRL. There's a huge gap from the starting point and to get to orchids and then to the NRL. So between here and the orchids, there's no really a good pathway for you to go through. The main pathway for you to get into NRL is for you to make it into the orchids. So when you're in the orchids, like you're in the limelight now, and NRL clubs will see you play through the orchids. So the pathways between how you start and going into the orchids, I would like to see them improve from there, and things should get better for the girls in the country.
That story wraps up Trukai Sports, the weather report for the next 24 hours after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight in the southern region: Port Moresby mostly fine although cloudy, Daru cloudy with some showers, Kerema, Alotau and Popondetta cloudy with few showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sports and weather for today, Friday, the 30th of April 2021. On behalf of the entire MTV news team right around the country, have a safe weekend, pleasant viewing, good night.